What's going on, traders? Welcome to this week's Forex forecast. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're watching this week, and if you want a link to all my charts for daily chart analysis for only $5 CAD per month, there's a link in the description for Patreon. I hope to see you there. Alright, starting off with the US dollar. The past week the banks added 2,300 longs and they got rid of 5,700 short positions. And I brought it up last week's video. I just want you guys to remember that weekly supply is in control, so I'd be very cautious buying any US dollar pairs right now. If you are, I would wait for at least this daily area of demand to be contacted. Then I think it'd be more appropriate to look for that long setup on any US dollar pairs. If you go to the 4-hour time frame here, this demand zone here worked very nicely. I've had this drawn out for a while now. That would have been a nice 2-to-1. Maybe if you took a short position on the EURUSD, that would have been nice. But like I said, just be very cautious. Weekly supply is in control. So in my opinion, I actually want to be looking to short the US dollar, not be going long. All right, on to EURUSD. The past week, the banks added 3,900 long positions and actually added a lot of short positions, 13,896. This is just essentially the opposite of the US dollar, obviously, and this weekly demand has now been contacted. So I think looking for longs on the euro is completely fine. So what I would be doing is I'd be looking here, and I would look for confirmation. So you kind of had it right here in this little demand zone down here. So if price does come down here, price has gone pretty far away, so I would probably actually look for 15-minute confirmation in there, and I think that would be fine. So if you're a day trader, this little 4-hour demand zone here is actually a great little zone to look for a 15-minute confirmation trade in there. And you could technically look for 1-hour confirmation too. It actually probably would be a little safer. Even daily confirmation would be great, but if you look at the daily time frame, it'd be pretty difficult to get that confirmation. It has to go all the way up here. But what you could do is stay on the 4-hour time frame. Like I said, go down to that 15-minute time frame in that 4-hour for confirmation, get an entry there. And if price doesn't retrace all the way back up to there, like I said, then you can wait for this daily to start trending up again. Wait for this zone to be removed, hopefully that one as well. Then you can start looking for longs like that. And that's basically my plan on EURUSD. And if you're new to my videos, check out the Patreon that I have. Link is in the description. For $5 CAD per month, you can get all of these zones tracked daily for the weekly, 4-hour, daily, and 1-hour time frame. So basically, throughout the week, I will be updating all of these zones. I have a lot of members now. A lot of people have been joining lately, so that's been nice. It's nice to be working with people like that, and I think that a lot of people find a lot of benefit to the Patreon, so definitely check that out. It's very cheap. I priced it in so that everybody could basically afford it. It's only $5 CAD per month, so check it out, and I hope to see you guys there. All right, looking at the Aussie dollar. The past week, the banks added 4,500 longs and added 11,500 short positions. That's coming as this weekly demand has been removed. I talked about that last week. Like I said, I still want to be buying the US dollar, in my opinion. We are at this fresh area of daily demand. It's actually not really fresh. It's somewhat fresh, depends on how you draw it. So you could actually be looking for confirmation in this area to go long. In my opinion, I just don't like this pair. I don't like the higher time frames. I much prefer, like the way I look at the markets is I basically want to just trade the US dollar, right? And since if you go back and watch my US dollar forecast that I did, the DXY, and I talked about how I really wanted to be looking for short positions on the dollar. So then what I do then, considering the dollar index, is I find the best pair to basically trade. So if I wanted to short the dollar, I would be buying Aussie dollar. But I just don't like this time frame. We have a daily downtrend, and this weekly is just sideways. It's not in weekly demand. But if you come over to the euro real quick, we're in weekly demand. So that's why I think I just like to stay away from the Aussie dollar right now. And you're going to see a lot of the other pairs too. I don't really have much good setup. So that's the thing with trading that it took me a while to learn, is like there's not always a setup on every pair. Sometimes you have to be very particular, what pair you're trading. So for now, on the Aussie dollar, I would just stay away. For all you day traders out there, I know I said I'd be doing a lot more stuff about day trading. Then looking for confirmation in this 4-hour area of demand would be fine in a 15-minute time frame. Actually looking for a 1-hour confirmation would actually be much safer, but looking for a 15-minute confirmation, it wouldn't really be wrong in my opinion. You're just going to have to try to find a solid setup. Alright, looking at the British pound, the past week the banks added 5,600 longs and added 1,450 short positions. If you watched my last video on the Aussie dollar, I talked about how there's pairs that are just look like they're better to trade. This is one of them in my opinion. We do have weekly supply and control, but if you just look at this price action, it's very, very clear. Anybody can say that this isn't an uptrend, right? So this is one of the pairs that I'd rather be buying to have a short position on the US dollar. I think in the last week's video I talked about how this daily demand could hold. It's very tested, like 4 or 5 times now, but you could get a nice 1-hour confirmation in there. I think it'd be okay. There's actually this nice 1-hour zone right here that kind of is breaking this range right now. The markets are still alive. There's still 50 more minutes till the market closes for the weekend. So if price does come down on this 1-hour time frame for all you day traders, a 5-minute confirmation here would be completely fine in my opinion. It's not financial advice. I'm just saying that I think that would be totally fine. What I would prefer would be 4-hour confirmation. So there's actually a 4-hour zone right here that's similar to that 1-hour, so I think that'd be much safer. But what I'm going to be looking for is to see for both of these zones to be removed. Then we break this range that we've been in. Then I think looking for whatever demand zone broke these supply zones, I would be very interested in that. So that's one reason to join the Patreon, right? Because you might see this chart right now for my weekly forecast, but if you join the Patreon, then maybe on next Wednesday these zones will be removed like that. Then I'll have a new demand zone right there that I can draw, and then you can kind of take my forecasts and kind of combine the Patreon with that. So I think it's very useful. I hate to keep plugging it, but I just think that you guys would find a lot of use for it. So I think throughout the week we possibly could see a nice 4-hour zone like that to get in long on the British pound. Alright, on to USDJPY, the Japanese yen. The past week the banks added 3,400 longs and added 4,200 short positions. If you look at the weekly time frame, I talked about it last week. Still have weekly supply and control, so this isn't really one that's super on my watch list. There could be some day trade setups though that we will look at. If you go to the daily time frame, it's still somewhat in an uptrend. I'm gonna actually put an up arrow here because it's kind of uptrend / sideways because we have had one zone removed so far. That could just be a trend line fake out though. So in my opinion, if you want to get in long here, I think it would just be best to wait for all of this to be removed. That would be kind of good evidence that that's going to happen. But I'm actually going to set an alert right here on this 4-hour supply zone. And what I'm going to do is actually look for 15-minute confirmation to the downside. A lot of profit margin. Even if you just look at the daily time frame, if price wants to retrace to this daily demand to make a move higher, think about if you get a little 15-minute zone right here. There's tons of room to the downside. So high profitability potential. So yeah, basically I will be day trading this if price does come up to here. I call it day trading. I guess it is. I've been having a lot more time off lately, so I think that looking for day trades is fine. So like I said, maybe you guys should set an alert here like me. And then when price gets up to here, I'm basically just going to hop down to the 15-minute time frame and look for a nice shift in momentum to the downside. So I hope you guys have been finding these day trading ideas helpful. If you do, let me know in the comments down below and I will continue to do them. Alright, on to USDCAD. The past week the banks added 6,200 longs and 1,600 short positions. I wanted to talk about something here. We do have weekly supply in control, and I talked about that, how this could end up holding. It could just push down here, but there's actually monthly supply right up here. All of this price action you see right here, and then this drop down, that was monthly supply. Not the best supply, but it is monthly supply. And I talked about how we could actually just see a move down, which we have, and how price could come back up and hit that and then come down. So it's a tricky situation that I still haven't fully figured out, to be completely honest. So you could still look for longs. In my opinion, it's a little risky, but I noticed this nice demand zone here. I love I love a demand zone like this. It broke this trend line. I like it a lot. If price does come down here, I already have my alert set. If price comes down here, I will 100% be looking for 1 hour confirmation. And if I do get in, this is where experience comes into play, in my opinion. Like, I'm not a professional trader. I'm not the best trader ever, but I'm just saying, from my experience, if I do get in this trade, since weekly supply is in control, it doesn't mean that this daily demand can't be the zone that is used to push price higher up to that monthly supply. So if I do get in a 1 hour time frame, the most I'll be looking for is probably a 3-to-1, and I'll probably be pretty aggressive with moving my stops based on that. Like I said, we could basically just see a move down into here, a nice move up, but then ultimately it retraces down there. So that's just part of the experience, in my opinion. Being in the market, trading for a long time, you kind of understand, what the best things to do are sometimes. If this weekly supply wasn't in control and, we were on a weekly uptrend, then I think this daily zone would be great for some sort of like very high risk to reward trade. But like I said, I'm just going to look for, a small position in there. And, if you're a day trader, you have a nice little 4 hour zone right there that you could look for 15-minute confirmation in, and I think you'd be fine to do that. But ultimately, I think it'd be much safer to just wait for 1 hour confirmation in that daily demand. All right, on to the Swiss franc USDCHF. The past week, the banks added 1,100 longs and 289 shorts, so not too much to go off of there. We do, if you look here on the daily time frame, we do have a sideways market now. Just updating that for the Patreon members. So if price does come back up to here, this would be kind of a great little setup to get a 1 hour confirmation to the downside, since, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, that's why you should try to watch the whole video too, is because what I talk about, it's kind of like, I know I separate all the pairs into different little clips, but everything from the start kind of plays into all the other videos. So if you skip the US dollar analysis, the DXY analysis, I would highly recommend going back, because I talk about how I want to get in short on the US dollar, and this is offering a pretty decent little setup here. So if price comes up to this daily area of demand, I will be looking for 1 hour confirmation in there to the downside. And this is kind of offering a lot of profit margin, in my opinion. If you get in, if price retraces back up to here, you get in short, you could target the 90, and you can target 0.90 right there. I think that'd be fine. So a lot more profit potential here, in my opinion. If you go to the 4 hour time frame here, we had this zone work very nice. So you could have found a 5-minute confirmation up in here, and that would have been fine. I definitely wouldn't be buying this again. In my opinion, I hope this does hold, pushes back up to that daily area of demand, and we can get a nice retracement to the downside. So I don't see too much going on here for day trading. Sometimes you could always technically be looking for 4 hour, 1 hour as your curve, and then 5-minute confirmation trades for day trading. But sometimes, in my opinion, it's just way better to wait for the higher time frames. So in my opinion, what you could do, say you don't want to enter on a 1 hour, say price comes up to here, it gives it 1 hour confirmation. Instead of shorting that whole 1 hour zone, you can wait for price to come to that 1 hour zone, then you can look for a day trade in the 5-minute, and that's how you kind of increase your odds of success, by using all of these time frames. So hopefully that little tip helps you guys out. All right, on to gold. The past week, the banks added a whopping 16,000 long positions, and they got rid of some short positions as well. Did I say long? Yeah, I meant they added 16,000 long positions. That's my bad. And if you look on the weekly time frame, it looks like we are starting to retrace up, but in my opinion, we're not really out of the woods just yet until I see this daily supply zone be removed. I still have an alert set there for a 1 hour confirmation. I think that'd still be fine. But usually you won't get, if this zone is meant to break, then you won't really get quality confirmations. So basically I'm waiting for 1 hour confirmation in this daily area of supply. If not, I'm looking to see that be removed. And then, that's kind of the evidence that I need that price is going to, continue to the upside and actually probably break all-time highs on gold, in my opinion. So like I said, just playing it safe. It is looking that price is going to retrace up, but I just don't want to get in yet. I want to have higher odds. So like I said, I'm either going to wait for 1 hour confirmation in here, or I'm going to wait for this zone to be removed, and then I feel more comfortable looking for longs. For all you day traders out there, 4-hour time frame, not much going on. There could have been a 15-minute setup in here. I didn't get it. If you go to the 1-hour time frame, for anybody that's trading the 5-minute, you could probably look in here for 5-minute confirmation. It would be a little risky based on the daily not really trending, but I think it would be okay. It would just be a little more risky, and then you would probably want to take profits at around 18.14 and probably get out. In my opinion, I think that would be the safest option. All right, on to oil. The past week, the banks got rid of 24,000 longs, and they added only 340 shorts. This weekly supply still is in control. I do see this breaking no problem. I talked about this daily area of demand right here and how I was going to look for 1-hour confirmation. Go watch my last video. So far, this demand has held very nicely. And so then basically what I'm doing is I'm hopping down to the 1-hour time frame. There was confirmation here. This was not a zone I'll take. Be very risky zone. There's actually another zone right here that I have not drawn yet. So that would have actually been a nice confirmation trade right there. But ultimately, I think that this 1-hour zone is still okay. But what you could see, I noticed, is that price will retrace a little bit lower like that and then push up. So you could just place an order on this 1-hour zone. I think it'd be a little safer to actually wait for 5-minute confirmation in there and then go up. So I'm going to be setting an alert here and then looking for that 5-minute confirmation. And then what I'm going to do is, let's say I find the 5-minute confirmation. Let me go down to a 5-minute chart right here. Let's say I get the confirmation like right up here. I'm probably going to put my stop pretty wide, maybe even below the whole 1-hour zone, because I just think that it would be worth it because the profit margin to the upside is just huge in my opinion on oil, kind of based on fundamentals as well. I don't really usually use fundamentals, but in my opinion, with inflation and everything, I think oil will be going much higher. I think oil is going to go to 100, but in the meantime, I think some good targets are like 80, 82. So if you do get in long here on this 1-hour area of demand, I think it would be fine to target that. And for all you day traders out there, I think this 1-hour zone would be great to look for confirmation in. Like I said, I wouldn't be shorting this 4-hour zone based on daily demand being in control. If you're just on the 4-hour, I'd wait for all that to be removed and then wait for price to go to the upside. All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching this week's Forex forecast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well, if you don't mind. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're looking at this week. And maybe we can get in touch and you can send me a chart and let me know what you're looking at. I always like looking at charts. So with that being said, let's have a great trading week and let's make some money. Cheers.